Welcome to Other Levels. Today we present you executive summary dashboards using Microsoft Excel, and as usual without using macros. The first dashboard contains a creative dynamic chart to analyze the daily, monthly, and annual net profits, with showing the profits difference between the current year and the previous year. Analysis of the total number of visits to our stores, and a map showing the visits according to their geographical location. Also the percentage of change between the current year and the previous year. Finally, a brief explanation showing the first three locations can change dynamic according to the selected country. The total of subscribers and followers on our social media platforms. Analysis of retained earnings. Automatic calculation of three types of strategies with their description. Total sales analysis. We have here monthly sales line chart for 3 different brands. Also total sales difference ratio between 2 years, and for each brand as well. This part connected with monthly filter. All dashboard values changes according to country selection. You can also switch between dashboards using these buttons. Moving on to the second dashboard, we will find an analysis of the total current purchase orders and comparing them to the previous year's orders. Amazing column chart showing the total completed orders and refunded on a monthly and daily basis. Also the average of order value. Here are the top products by unit sold funnel chart. Returning customers rate in monthly basis, and the difference ratio as well. Analysis for most effective advertising campaigns, showing the monthly performance line chart for 3 different campaign types, and the difference ratio between 2 years. This part can filter according to the advertising creator source. Finally, we can access the creative data table by click on this icon and update it easily. You can get this template by visiting our online store, other-levels.com. and also to download the dashboard dataset for your training and practicing. These are the color codes used in the design and the font type is Arial. All our dashboard's template features are working in all versions of Excel, Mac and Windows operating systems. Let's get started with creating this dashboard step by step. This is the data table. We will start changing the spreadsheet theme. Add 2 columns to the left side, and 2 more columns in above. Adjust the spaces according to the size of the screen which will be displayed on. Let's set the background dark black. Set the font size. Choose the table blank format, where we will do our own appropriate design. Then select the entire table and change its color using this color code. Apply the black background color to the right side of the table as well. Now we will add a bar using round same side corner rectangle shape, at the top of the table, to use it in placing social media logos. Make sure that the width of the shape is the same as the width of the table. Now, according to what has been requested, we will highlight the amounts of sales that exceed the general average so that it is La Rioja color. Remove the cell borders and fill color. Moreover, we will need to repeat the previous steps to the returning customer's rate, but using the dark orange font color this time. Back again to the background design, and we will add 2 additional colors to it. The first will be the heliotrope color, and this is the color code. Start from column S until the column AH. Then drag it to the 7th row. The next color will be dark gray, from row 13 until the down bottom. Add the final adjustments. Great! Let's add a table title. You must add the last update date to avoid mistakes. Next, the first navigation icon that allows us to move from this data table sheet to the dashboards and back. Open the Excel icon library and search for menu icon. Make it white. We will add our logo and website on the left side. Next, insert the social media logos and place it on the top table bar. Select all icons and align it to the middle. We are done here. Let's add the first dashboard sheet tab. Now back to the icon and add hyperlink to the first dashboard. And don't forget to set the screen tip. Let's move to the first dashboard and start to create the background. For the main background, it will be dark black, same like the data table background color. For the other two background colors, we'll use rectangles to apply them instead of coloring the cells. Because we will be using a gradient color instead of a solid fill color, this cannot happen in cells. Select both rectangles, then cut and paste them into the Spreadsheet tab to place them exactly in the same locations as the additional colors. I think they're in the same place as the additional colors. Now select and group them. Then move them back to the dashboard. Now we will create the main background, on which we will put all the charts and values using rounded rectangle shape. Fill it with the black Russian color. Adjust the shape to fitting your monitor dimensions. We will add a shadow and make it in 3D format, so let's open the Format pane menu to do it. For the shadow, transparency is 54%, blur 45, angle 120 degrees, and finally the distance will be 28. For the 3D format, use circle top bevel. And for the effect, choose dark edge. Then we will add round same side corner rectangle shape, to complete the background design. Rotate it 270 degrees. Place it on the left side. Select both shapes and align them to the middle. Go back to the database sheet and copy these elements to use it on the dashboard. For the logo and website, we will place them to the right side and increase the logo size a little. Here add the dashboard title. Increase the font size to 18. Make it bold. For the menu icon, change the hyperlink reference to the data table. Then change the screen tip to data table. The buttons now work perfectly, but as you can see, the cell borders distort the overall design on both sheets. To hide it, I will insert a rectangle with the same background color and cover the cell number A1 with it. Much better now. As we have shown, this template contains two dashboards. And to move between them, we will design two buttons so that we can move between them. Insert round same side corner rectangle shape. Rotate it by 90 degrees. Change the shape fill color. Then find and insert an arrow from the icons menu. Adjust the arrow size. Make it white. Select both shapes and align them to metal and center. Place it beside the main title. Duplicate it and flip it horizontally. Finally, add the hyperlink for the first dashboard, as we did previously. We have to insert now the second dashboard sheet tab, but before we do that, kindly select all elements, then open the Format pane menu. From Properties options, choose Don't Move or Resize with Cells, to maintain the shape's location and its dimensions in both dashboards. Now we can duplicate this sheet tab by right-click, then select Move or Copy. Then add the hyperlink to the right button for the second dashboard. Next we need to start analyze the data and extract the targeted values, using many pivot tables and formulas. And to do that we will use a separate sheet tab and name it Pivot Tables. Let's move to the main tables and insert the first pivot table. Select the range to be in the Pivot Table Sheet tab. Great! Now we will start with the social media reach analysis. In our data table, we have data from 2022 until 2023. And we interest to analyze the 2023 performance in this dashboards. So let's insert the year in Filters field, and later we will choose year 2023. And then insert the numbers of subscribers and followers for these social media platforms. We are currently going to make temporary adjustments and formats for this sheet to improve the appearance during creation. But at the end of our work, we will redesign and format it better than now. For buyers of our templates, always we add notes explaining and clarifying all the pivot tables and formula used, and how to update them. The numbers are in millions, as you can see, and we want to round down them to 1 decimal places. Therefore, we will use Custom Number Format. From Number Format menu, go to Custom. Then type this format. 0.0, comma. We always try on our videos to add many useful ideas and easy tricks. For example, if you want to copy these social media names and paste it horizontally. Copy the headings. Open Paste Special. Now paste it vertically by selecting Transpose. Use Find and Replace feature. Then replace sum of with blank. Now type equal and select the correct value from pivot table. Let's use again the same custom number format. Now to avoid errors, we will use if error formula. Type if error in the beginning. And in the end type comma, double quotations, dash symbol, double quotations, and close bracket. Apply the same formula to all cells. We will add some temporary adjustments as clarifying previously. It's important to separate each part and add a title for any further update. Let's start now by adding the first analysis to the dashboard. First we need to add a title to this analysis with a brief explanation. Follow the colors and font sizes we use. Next, we will add the names of social media platforms. Select them all, then press Ctrl plus Shift. Then pull down to unify the distances. And from the formula bar type equal sign. Then go to the pivot table sheet and select the values. The font should be in bold and big. Since the numbers are in millions, then we need to add the million symbol next to each number, which is the M letter. Finally, we'll bring in the logos that we added in the spreadsheet. Always use the alignment feature. Attention to the smallest details makes a big difference in your work. We are done here. Let's move on to the store visits. You can copy the pivot table instead of inserting a new one. All you have to do is change the fields as required. Move the year from the filter to the columns field. Clear the previous filter. Now add the locations in the rows field. And number of visitors in the values field. This is the required table. Select any table cell, and let's insert a map chart. As you can see, we cannot create this type of chart with the data inside pivot table. And that we must copy the data outside the pivot table to be able to create the map chart. This is what we will do next. First type the headers. Then type equals K9. Apply the formula until getting all location names. Then use VLOOKUP formula to get 2023 numbers, which is in third column. Now we can insert the map chart. All data in the dashboard will be filtered by country. This data contains two countries, Canada and the United States of America. So, when we insert the country filter and chose one of them, you will see that the table gives error, as there is no data to get from the pivot table. Since each country contains 7 cities, so we will reselect the map chart data source range to the first 7 rows only, and delete the rest. Thus, when choosing one of the 2 countries from the slicer, the map chart will work perfectly. Excellent. Next, we want the total number of visits in 2023 using the sum formula. We will add an important feature, which is finding the difference ratio for the number of visits between 2023 and 2022. And the equation will be as follows. The result of subtracting the number of visits in 2023 from the number of visits in 2022. Then divide the result by the sum of the 2 years' visits. Choose the percentage format, but we want to add a plus sign when the percentage is positive, and add a minus sign when the percentage is negative. To do this idea, go to Custom Number Format, and write the number format as follows. Everything is ready now, and let's move the slicer and map to the dashboard. Place the map here in down left side. Remove chart title. Also the fill color and the outline color. Now select the series, and from Format pane change the minimum and the maximum colors. Then change the chart fill color. Set dark gray color for the borders and change the border width. Next, change the legend position to be on top, and activate the overlay. Adjust the font type and color. It needs to increase it little bit. Back to Format panel, choose the Best Fit Only, for the map label. It's time to add total store visits to the dashboard. Increase the font size and make it bold. Now we need to hide these unuseful information. Using rectangles with the same background color. Next, add the difference ratio. And to highlight the percentage, we will create wallpaper using rounded rectangle shape, and I will make it in light green color. As after reviewing the data, it becomes clear to us that in both countries there has been an increase in the number of visitors. We can also make it changing dynamically with green and red if we like, as we did previously in the video above. Align them to middle and center. Then group them together. Format the total visitors numbers to appear better on the series. Last thing, I will create a dynamic paragraph summarizing the current status, highlighting the top 3 locations for each country. It will be changeable depends on the country slicer selection. Now that we've finished writing the results summary, we'll move it to the dashboard. As you can see, it certainly does not change when you change the country from the slicer. To implement our idea, we will use the concatenate equation. Type equals, then concatenate. We will refer to all the names of the first 3 cities by choosing the cell in which they are located. And also do the same for the number of visitors. As for the rest of the sentences in the paragraph, keep it between 2 double quotation marks. Continue together. Place the country slicer beside the main dashboard title. Choose the slicer theme. If you would like to learn how to design and modify the slicer, please watch the video above. From Slicer Settings, enable Hide Items with no data, and disable the header. Finally, separate the title and the slicer using a line shape. Next, the monthly sales line chart. This is the total sales in the data table. Let's create a pivot table for 2023 sales only. We will add the brands' names in the columns. Days in the rows. Finally, add the sales to values field. Now put the total sales for each brand name in separate cells. Just type an equal sign in the formula bar and then select the total amount. We want to show the thousand separator for each number. Next, insert a monthly slicer, and will only be connected to this part of the analysis. To facilitate the analysis of sales according to the selected month. The last analysis will be the percentage difference in sales between the current year and the previous year. To find the ratio, use a pivot table that contains the year in the columns field. And brands in the row field. The sales amounts will be in values field. From the field settings, choose Show Data as percentage difference from. Then choose Year for the base field. And the base item will be 2022. Then OK. Now we got the sales difference ratio for each brand. Copy this percentage format. We explained it in previous video. Now all the required data is ready. Let's start by choosing the pivot table and then inserting the line chart. Let's move it and the slicer to the dashboard. Remove the background and border color. Also delete the grid lines. And the legend. For the vertical axis we will change the number format. We will use this format code. Follow these steps for the horizontal axis. Next, let's change the line color and width. Add circular markers to the line. The size will be 3. Use the same line color to the marker fill color. And for the border, use the dashboard background color. Adjust the chart dimensions. Now we will add the slicer to the graph. Make 12 columns, to correspond to the number of the year months. Remove the header and hide the items with no data. Now place it below the chart. Next we will add a custom grid line to take this line chart to another level. Simply, insert a text box and then type a dot, then 2 spaces. Repeat it several times. We need 50 dots. Now copy them 7 times on top of each other. Use the alignment tool and distribute them vertically. Group them for easy control. Then remove the fill color and outline. Bring the chart to front.